welcome back, everybody, for part 2 of our discussion here on 11/30/96. This is a long one, this is a fun one, and we really appreciate you joining us again. So without further ado, here we go. And then, when the lights do go down, the opener for the set 2 was quite unexpected by me, and I think by a lot of people, and it was, I don't know, I knew the song just from listening to rock radio my whole life, but I would say 2 out of 10 familiar with ZZ Top at this point. Although in my life now, extremely familiar. And this was so cool. I remember people screaming when the spotlights went on Mike and he started singing. Mm-hmm. The sparkly pants were really bright.
Well, did you know they played it, or had they played it? I certainly, I'm sure, would have no idea what this was at the time.
Well, at this point, I was just, all we had were these books. So I saw it in books, and I'm sure I read about it, that this is a ZZ Top cover, but I don't know that I'd ever possibly once or twice heard it. So it's felt very, very new and exciting to me.
Texas town, sat outside Grange. Just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range. You got a lot of nice girls.
Through the song, you were like, I don't remember these being the lyrics to Julius. It's funny because it basically is Julius, but it's fantastic. And yeah, Mike's vocals in the beginning are hilarious, and yes, this is a great cover for them.
Yeah, and rock and roll, like aggressive. There was a couple moments, the brother in this that were just they let Trey out of the cage a little bit. It was impressive.
But yeah, again, a lot of, it's a grounded show in a lot of ways. Like, we got some Tex-Mex rock here. We start with just a straight ahead rocker. We've had, some bluegrass and then some spacey moments, but even those, didn't get as spacey as they would in other shows. And then with the Funky Bitch and Timber, like it's a weirdly just kind of, like I said, grounded Americana set list woven through this.
Yeah, it seems to go everywhere, but also, maintain a theme. Yeah. And then the one headphones, the It's Ice, which Ian and I talk a lot about. We've had some good It's Ices on this podcast that we've gone through, and there's ones that they dance and they're funk-based. We've had ones that are, interesting and strange and very childlike, and then there's ones that go directly beneath the ice and get very cold and spooky and dark and travel to the center of the earth. And this was kind of in that third camp a little bit.
But like we've discussed so far, especially at the beginning, all of you guys just talking about how this show is on rails. Like everything is preordained. It's meant to be. They're so locked in, and this ice is the perfect vehicle, I think, for them to show that, because there's all these little sort of like micro accentuations in every little space of this whole performance. Just like you, Matt, you had mentioned Trey's little mini wahs and the punch you in the eye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Trey with his little wah in the beginning of this thing. It's just amazing. They're like these short little quips, and I just like a very unique way to use that instrument in this context. And yeah, and Fishman just accentuating all the right moments. Yeah, just amazing. Sam and I talked about this at length when we listened to all the It's Ices, and then this was on both of our top threes.
Yeah, I always forget when I see it too about Fishman dancing on the drum stool. Yeah. And then when you see it, it's like, it's the coolest band. Like whenever they do the synchronized, like stupid little dances, and there's multiple ones in this. There's the drum stool dance. There's the arms up in the air for contact. And yeah, I love them.
But yeah, you're right, Ian. Like another great example, and then like in the whole breakdown in the middle, the spooky part and stuff like that. Again, doesn't feel as exploratory as some of the other ones, or as like searching. You know, it just feels like we know that. You know, again, this is how it goes, right? Somehow the whole band is just like, yeah, it goes like this. Obviously.
Comes out feels that way too. It's like a depth and a reemergence is really, it's perfect.
Yeah, the structure of that song is so, the playing is so aggressive. I don't know, again, I don't know how they were able to pull off that aggressive attack, but in a, I don't know, gentle way. I mean, softening it with a little wah pedal, but it's still like coming right at you. And then like the red lights during those parts, it's just like the juxtaposition was just perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I co-sign the headphones.
Yeah. I don't like the arrows are often not needed, and this one isn't either. But
I was going to ask about the arrows. There's a lot of arrows, and I know you're very specific about them.
Almost everyone in this show is unnecessary. It shouldn't be there. Arrows are for transitions, not for, hey, they started a song that's written down on a set list after the song before, nice and quickly after they ended the first one. That's not what fucking arrows were.
So just sorry. So you think this entire set list was written out? That was the style at the time. Because I mean, I remember reading that like he would always write them, and then they would often like
they mix it up.
Get
they may have added things,
but I mean they do have the guests. They do have to like hit some things. But
I read that the sound check that basically they just ran through all the songs with the guests. Mm-hmm. So what blows me away even more is that they didn't sound check one of their own songs that wasn't with a guest. So again, they were going into this clean. They played the night before, but they hadn't played all day. They came in, they met the guests, they chit-chatted, they rammed through the material that they were going to be covering at the show, and that was it. They came out cold to Runaway Jim. And like Glide again. I don't know how often they played Glide fall 96, probably 2 or 3 times. I wouldn't say it was a constant concert staple of that tour. And this was textbook. It was so perfect. And the way it stomps in the middle and becomes so angular. And I don't think I'd ever seen this song. This was another one of those where I knew Fish well enough and
we did see it in
did we?
Red Rocks. Cause
Okay.
I remember that, just how big and unexpected the song was, especially the ending part. But this really felt like they were acknowledging what was happening with all of us in that moment. And I'm glad that I'm alive too. Thanks for acknowledging that right now. And we're all in here together, and you were wearing your Glide shirt, and like it was just serendipity. And we're glad, 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 glad. And we're glad, glad, glad that you're alive.
And we're glad, glad, glad that you're alive. And we're glad, glad, glad that you'll arrive. And we're glad, 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 glad.
Like everything was just
we had joked I still have my Glide shirt somewhere in a trunk in the attic, and I was going to wear it. But that was how the guy remembered me, who I saw later this week at a girlfriend's house. It was because I was sitting outside wearing the Glide shirt, and he was like, "You were the guy in the Glide shirt." Yeah, that was actually. So I probably still had the grin. I think I was just telling him that I had seen some shows and that I wouldn't stop talking about this, because I do remember him saying, like, wow, Paige was really amazing in that 2001. And I was just like, I wouldn't stop talking about the show to anyone that would listen to me. And, yeah, I was insufferable then as now. Yes.
But everybody loved that. Everybody loved
the Glide shirt
enthusiasm
nice.
From previous shows, because, like you said, we had no way of knowing. So, like, you'd be like, oh, I saw this guy that said this one night was, like, amazing. And then you'd kind of look forward to hearing that night. It was a part of the whole, you were helping create the mythology.
Well, Ryan, you might remember, I can't remember the two women's names who Bill knew from the Quad Cities, who we ended up staying with a little bit, but they were on this West Coast tour and saw the shows before this, right? Yeah, didn't they see Seattle and Vancouver, and that they said that they were amazing and they were so excited? And I kind of loosely remember that, because Bill was with us at Vegas. Right? Yes. So I think we all kind of connected over that, and they were talking about how good those shows were too. Like, everyone on this run people were really excited. It was awesome. Yeah. So Glide. And then Brother, which was another song I knew nothing about really, and I don't know if I'd ever heard.
Yeah, I'm sure I didn't.
And it had to have been played for Paige's brother that was in the audience.
They did say that.
Yeah.
Back to the
back
to the Glide. I had Glide notes.
Good.
And Sam,
Bowie Glide notes, or you?
No,
Glide
me
notes?
Glide notes. Love Glide. We've heard several so far on this podcast, and I've enjoyed them all. But this one was the first time in the end part that you had mentioned that boom, like, that the section at the end. I really was sucked into a medieval battle. Like, I was just swords, axes.
Yep.
Yeah. Just really vivid visualization during that part of the song. And I was like, whoa.
Dungeons and Dragons
They've never sparked that from me. And so that's an example of how something super highly composed that they're playing perfectly, but just the nuance in which they play it, the spacing, the breadth of it just kind of changes how I feel. That's all. And if you would play a clip for us. Thank you, Sam.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I should have been requesting clips this whole time.
Teeing me up. Well, it makes my job easy. I like it. Yeah, I agree. I agree very firmly. There's a couple of songs I put in the Dungeons and Dragons Fish catalog. Glide is one. Gaiuti and Stash sometimes, where it's that very medieval kind of. You see some bow and arrow and sword fighting, and yeah, I love it. Love it. So then we move to Brother. Similar to LaGrange?
Yeah, Matt, what do you think about it?
Well, I did a little research. Because I was like, what is this song? And would I have known it? I wouldn't not have known it. And I'm like, it's so good. I love it on here. But just a fun fact I discovered here is that it's after this show, which is, almost 30 years ago, it's only been played 12 other times.
Wow.
12?
12. Huh. The penultimate was at MSG in 2017, and then almost 4 years off, and then played, the last time it's ever been played was in Sacramento.
Wow.
Whoa.
At the Golden One Arena, which replaced this. And I listened to it today, and it's coming out of tube, and it's clearly just Trey realizes he's playing the riff, and they start trying to play it, and it is a disaster, and they stop and laugh, and he goes we have not played this song in a while. But then they they do it again, and they sort of make it through, make their way through. But so not planned or any sort of like thing, but still something in the air in Sacramento that brought it back around. But yeah, not a highly played song after this show. But man,
maybe Steve McConnell was in the audience again.
Yeah.
Maybe. Does he live in Sacramento?
Yeah.
Is that the deal?
Must be it. You didn't do that research? All right.
Yeah, that's my research. That's the end of my research.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, in this era, we've heard a few in '96. It's a real vehicle for Trey to shred. It's like this is Trey's moment to really let it hang out.
Shred angularly.
Yes.
Yeah, those 92 Machine Gun, like 91, 92 brother was just, it was show off time.
Steve McConnell.
And this was that again, but like I think the band keeps up. I think Mike's slapping the bass properly. I think everyone's really keeping up, and it's exhausting to listen to. Kind of, it's a lot of energy. It's great. I loved it.
No, I really love it. I mean, it's so. I mean, this I've talked to you guys before. I like the dissonant stuff. I like the weird stuff, and this is the kind of humor that like I like out of Fish, of just repeating a phrase over and over again to the point of ridiculousness. Not super obtuse lyrics or making actual jokes, just repeating it over and over, and just like being just a silly song that doesn't really actually come off as silly because it's so kind of dissonant and weird, but like it's got silly elements. I don't know. It's perfect, and it's great in this set list.
Well, we're also coming off me having to discuss one of my least favorite brothers, which I'm currently mixing, letting the audience in on my process of how far behind we are. But I'm mixing the Clifford Ball, and there are some real painful moments in that show, the second night especially. And the Bathtub Gin the brother featuring Ben and Jerry of Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream is pretty bad and pretty rough to listen to. And the fact anybody gave them a microphone, I'm reiterating a second time here. That being the last brother I heard, re-listening to this for this was a real palate cleansing breath of fresh air, what you will. It was great. Made it that much better.
Well, it again connected for me into that theme of like acknowledging we're all in this thing together. So the Glide, Brother, and then leading right into the next song in Contact.
Oh, nice.
Being the last day in November, to sing that again, it gets really quiet, and then woke up one morning in November and realized. So
it's a love song.
Yeah, it just seemed like it's acknowledging the moment with those 3 songs in a row, and it's just like, they're seeing this. They're seeing this too. They're feeling this too. Like we're this is happening, and they're acknowledging that it's happening. So these string of songs all, I think, I felt like they were talking to the audience specifically. Like, this is pretty amazing that we get to do this together, Of course, it's all happening in my head, but
No, but
they were all
me too.
very
And then
pleasant
I'm sitting there
thoughts.
going like, they love Sacramento, and I love
Yes.
Sacramento, and I love all my friends in Sacramento. And oh my God, maybe the show isn't that good, and I'm not going to look at Sam, but I love it.
Don't look at me. But it also it's wild to think that we're lauding all this on a show, and Ian and I we're spending a lot of time reading set lists right now, and the podcast is the thing we do, and there's a lot of research that goes into it. And to look at a show where dead center, third quarter, mid second set, where the meat of a show comes, and it's Glide Brother Contact, and we're saying this is one of the best shows we've ever seen, is a testament to why this show is so great. Like, it truly, these pieces of music are, they're just perfect. And I think
it took those three to make what comes next, like, explode in the room. Like, it.
And this Contact is like, I don't know that I would play many. There's a couple that have gotten pretty groovin' lately. I remember when they came back from the first hiatus, one of those shows, they played a Contact that was like super funk and really fun. But this one is
1303.
Yep. This one is great. This one is great and snappy and fun. And like you said, it gets quiet, and it is syrupy and lovey, and it's a throw your arm. It's the arms in the air, and like you're excited to be around the people you're with. And there was a lot of that through this section. Yeah.
Is what you are when you go out to your car and it's been drove. I woke up one morning in November and I realized I love you. It's not your headlights in front, your tailpipe with a skylight above you. It's the way you cling to the road when the wind tries to shove you. I'd never go driving away, come back home without you.
Agree. And then the dance space, which Ian, we just did the 11/7 show, and we usually do a special thing on our podcast, so there'll be like we're gonna pick a handful of our favorite
deep dive.
It's Ices or deep dives. And the last one was we took every single headphone in this book from the fall of '96 that wasn't from a show we were discussing, and we listened to them and talked about them. And one of the shows, it wasn't a headphone, but it was before it. It said, "This is the first truly stretched out 2001." And Ian and I both listened to it. I don't know if you have that date handy in your head, but God, you're impressing me. But it was fine. And I remember the one at Vegas, which is the next show we're going to be discussing, was also great and longer than this and super fun. But this one will be my favorite till I die. Like, this was the one. And I'm not a good dancer in any way, shape, or form. It's not what I do. But you couldn't stop. Like, it was an absolute party. And this was a magic moment for all of us, I think.
Well, again, I mean, I think I was one of those set list chumps who looked at this and said, 7 minutes? Come on.
Yeah.
What happened? But it's obviously not these, super drawn out, slow 97 version, but again, snappy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got the plucky the waka wakas are back, and just the tone and everything about it, and it's just sparkling and snappy and just, on rails.
There's a moment in this, like the second half, where I think at the very end before the final coda, where they keep rapping Superbad back into it, and there's one moment where like Trey's playing a wah kind of rhythmic chord structure and then just snaps into Superbad, but actually plays extra, it's like extra notes in it beyond the original theme, and it actually sound, I don't know, there's like these weird moments in this where it's like they go beyond being great and to a new place at certain points, and this was one of them where there's a few songs on here I go back to the most. The Fluffhead and this 2001 is another one where I played it for people too, and I'm like, you need to listen to this. And yeah, man, that's cool. I get it, but I don't know. I think it's a lay on your back moment. You can't just have it on the background.
Yeah, for me, it was the setup. Like, okay, LaGrange, It's Ice, Glide, Brother, Contact. They're not all like dancing songs. Like they're actually they're actually disorienting for most of those. And then to get to this, that was again the snappiest beat. I've never since shaken my hips the way that I did, and like looking around and
wild.
Like the smiles on everybody's faces, and like just how hard everybody was dancing. And again, I think it was like this dancing explosion because we were just again emotionally manipulated for several songs, and then like it's all sweet and hands in the air, and then this drops, and I think everybody was ready to dance, and my goodness, that was an amazing experience in what was happening auditorially and what was happening physically to all of our bodies simultaneously, being in a 10,000 person just wiggling dance party. It was pretty remarkable.
That's some of the stuff that I think that's what changed the band too.
Yeah.
Just like you're saying, where the band saw that and they're trying to add to their palette of abilities, and they hadn't played a lot of dance music in the set till then, and then it went to deep. That the space prior to the beat kicking in was awesome too. It is dark and evil, and the spotlight's down and all the smoke, and to come out of that with, I mean, when the lights would go up, to see a crowd that ecstatic, and they must have been like just pure heaven. And yeah, it was special.
So we're a month out from the Remain in Light show, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, which I've always sort of
episode 39. I want to say.
Oh.
41. I don't know. It's coming soon. No, 40, 41, 42. It's coming.
I guess sort of erroneously thought that was like, well, I mean, I don't know, the 97 funk. I always credited to that. I guess it's a combination of the European tour and maybe thinking about that, letting that show settle in this bone. But I mean, this is where it's like kind of definitely the snappiness of that.
Yeah.
Because actually the 97 style is not really Remain in Light-ish in that way, because Remain in Light is hot.
It's moving and syncopated. That's where like all that
it's
syncopated,
hot and syncopated, and it's not as behind the beat as they get in 97. So this is really more of the actual influence, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
This and the punch you in the eye of
they're on top of it.
Yeah,
they're
on
not
top
behind
of
it.
it. The hot funk.
Yeah, I think Mike was the one that was. I mean, they were all very moved by Remain in Light, but steadily since Remain in Light, we're seeing some big changes in Mike's playing. And in 2001, leading up to this point, his bass lines would be spacey or make you feel weird, or they'd be odd, or they'd be groovy, but he's not necessarily tapping into that funk dance groove like he's starting to get to here. And I think, even though Fishman is doing his James Brown thing, which really stands out, I think Mike is putting on a pretty special performance in this 2001. But I do want to just agree with Ryan that I think I had considered it, but I do think you're right. I think that this 2001 gets a lot of its power from what leads up to it.
Yeah. It's a catharsis. Yeah, I agree. And I as you don't want to discount Mike's playing in this, I think Fishman has a lot to do with it too. And I mean, I remember reading an article at some point many years ago where Trey was saying that Fishman is such a good drummer that he never plays the same thing twice. And he's always innovating. And I remember thinking that's great. And then as I started playing music as a bassist, I realized how absolutely frustrating and insane that would be to play with a drummer that never played the same fucking thing twice. And I think this was beginning to be the era where Fishman was starting to find these pockets of rhythm. And I think Remain in Light probably changed him more than anyone. And when, we just recording that and watching the video of him, that whole set, he is the happiest and most focused you've ever seen. And he's on top of it and aggressive and he's leading the band a lot of that show or that set. And he has Carl Perazzo, one of his heroes there, who at times detracts from the music, at times adds, but Fishman is running that show. And I think that carried into this fall 96 a lot, where there's been a lot of shows where we give Fishman the MVP for the night. But I think at this point, he's really locking into stripping back, changing the rhythm as much and trying to ride behind it and create a dance party. And I think he is a big part of that 97 sound, as well as Trey ditching the mini drum kit and starting to find rhythmic patterns to fit into, which he does a lot in this show too. No mini drum kit. I don't think he touches it. I don't remember. Well, so that being gone is one of the greatest things that happened to Fish at this era.
Well, just back to what you're saying right there, it makes me think, I think what he probably learned from Remain in Light is that you need a super solid straight ahead beat, and then you can have the stuff going on around it, and so probably like keeping that, like, I think that as someone who's been trying to chase Remain in Light since I heard it in Ian's car a few days after this on the way to the Phoenix show, for almost 30 years, I think that is like one of the undersung things is that, why am I spacing on the drummer's name? Please help me out.
John Fishman,
Tina Weymouth, and
Chris Frantz.
Chris Frantz. Chris Frantz is kind of a, he's kind of a, not lead-footed, but I mean like a little bit of a lead-footed, just like, just he's just kind of holding down this beat. And then they have, everyone else with all the percussion and everything else jittering around it. But it wouldn't work, and it doesn't work, and trust me, I've tried, to just start with the jittery, let's have nothing, let's have the cool thing about that is there's not like there's no one, or there's no like downbeat and backbeat or whatever. There is, and so I think that's maybe kind of what, instead of Fishman just being like I'm gonna just fly off the handle everywhere or whatever, is realizing, oh no, we need this, and then he's so good and so facile that he can like keep that going and then add the 3 other percussionists on his own, but keep that down or whatever. I don't know. That's just what kind of came to me there. But
no, I agree, and I think this 2001 being, like you said, those later like 97 ones, they get long and they're fun, but they're kind of flabby at times too. And this one is tight and precise and quick, and
they're behind the beat.
It ends.
They're slower and they're behind the beat. It's and this is hot. This is hot.
Yeah, the later ones they're more psychedelic and airy, and I mean, like if you're dancing on ecstasy, you're gonna want to hear a 97 as opposed to a 96. I'm making a judgment call, but I really do think that's true.
Maybe.
Dance menu.
Yeah. But then after this 2001, we move into guest 2. And it's been my vocal on this podcast, and to you guys probably, one of my life dreams to see Fish with horns, to see a horn tour, to see, Ryan, I remember in your red Jetta when I got good tapes of those like random, there were like 2 shows in California. I want to say it's like
UC
12,
Davis.
12, where they played with the horns. And there's a Julius from those that I snuck into this podcast a couple times. And that was my, like, maybe they're going to do it. Maybe it's actually going to happen, and maybe we're going to see it. And this was kind of the closest I ever got. And it was amazing. Peter Applebaum's a weird guy, I think, weird player, and I think it fit in so cool with how the band was feeling this night. It opened up a new avenue of different music for the whole show.
Yeah, and that's what I liked. I liked how the band played with him, like behind him, how Trey laid back well enough to really highlight what he was doing, and like they were playing he was playing too in like this atonal space, but I just really loved how Trey worked with it, and it wasn't like him doing his own thing while this other guy's playing over it. Like they were really just layering right behind the tenor sax. I mean, it's one of my, as I go back and listen to it, it's one of my favorite guest spots because of how the band's playing with them. And it's not like, all right, we're going to trade riffs here and like they tend to do when they have a guest. Like this was, no, we're going to set this foundation, and we're going to listen to what you're going to do with it, and respond accordingly. And I thought that they did it really well.
I'm so glad I listened to this again today, because I listened to it like 3 days ago, and my hot take on this was going to be sax player kind of sucks, right? And then I listened again today, and I think it's actually a mixing problem. I listened to it on headphones, and he's panned super hard right, so that he kind of sticks out from the band, and he really like just pops out, and he doesn't feel as part of the band as he could be. I think it's purely a mixing thing. They really wanted to, and I would rather have him on the left, because he's on the right with Trey instead of over on the left with Page, and I would have want him nestled in more, because, and he is, I appreciated him so much more when I realized that I think that was the problem I was having. But he's just doing these Coltrane-y sheets of sound things, and the band, I think you can hear the band just be like, oh, okay, he's going to be doing that. So it's sweet. But we got to like, sort of like let him do that, but I think there's like a second in that song where he's like, oh, he's not just going to like, sort of like just play along on the top of it, he's gonna just like cut against,
slice through it.
yeah, and just like coat it with this stuff. So it's like, okay, let's let him do that, and we'll try to like support him. So yeah, well said, Ryan. And I think it is really cool. And I think it's just my only slight complaint about the mixing on this is that I would nestle him in and put him on the left.
Yeah.
Where do you think that where's the pre-taste jam? Like, how does that, when it comes out of the Timber Hoe, what are your thoughts on that jam?
I love it.
I guess I can pass to you.
Yeah, I thought it was a great little arrangement to highlight the guest.
Do you think it was pre-set? Do you think that was like a sound check thing where they felt that way?
Yeah. Definitely. They said, we'll play these chords and you do your thing with it. So yeah, I think that was definitely a pre-planned highlight the guest. Taste.
Well, I do agree with everything you guys have kind of said before, and that my notes just kind of say here. Compared to John McEwen, he just comes out and says, "Guys, see if you can keep up with me," and that is an impressive way to play on stage with Fish. So respect, Peter Applebaum. I looked him up, and he's not even. It just says he's a piano player, not even it says American pianist. So I mean, obviously he plays saxophone too, but yeah, I thought it was really cool and adds a nice texture to Taste. I think it's I jumped. Sorry. The timber's great, and then we get to Taste, and yeah, it's really a really nice color with the band. As Sam said, love the horns, and this guy was a particular type of horn, very different than Dave Grippo. Coltrane-y, like you said, much more beboppy and out there, soundscapey, as opposed to sort of a rhythm and blues kind of sax player that they're used to playing with. So yeah, it's really cool.
Maybe with Taste they gave him that intro portion because the outro of Taste is so many chord changes that there was a moment he plays over them in an interesting way, but I think the band's like, we're gonna play through a lot of these changes before we get to the improvising, and you're gonna, it's gonna. I don't think he learned them.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what 3 days ago when I heard it, I think I sort of like. At that point, at some point in Taste, I'm just like, oh, he was just like, this is too many chords, guys. How about I just go?
Yeah,
that'll cover all your chords, okay, assholes. And I was just kind of like, this guy's kind of like just, not that great. But no, I mean, I appreciate, like he said, Ian, just him coming and being like, what if you guys were a totally different band? And it was like this.
That's why it was so interesting. Like I felt that it was not like there was nothing smooth about it.
But then for Funky Bitch, he does play the traditional role much more. Yeah. I thought so. That was
those are easier changes.
Yeah, but if he had walked off after Taste and then the band just played Funky Bitch, I don't think it would have worked as well. And I think it cycles back to what you're saying, Matt, where it felt like a preordained kind of feeling to the show, where he said, I can go this far with Timber Hoe and with Taste because I know that I'm going to give everybody the kind of the easy cheese through Funky Bitch that they expect from a saxophone player. And he does it. Still retaining his own sound, I think does a really nice job in the third song. So it was great. It's cool, all three together. They're so different, all three pieces, and they really worked well. And I remember with Funky Bitch ending it, I was just really worried the show was going to be over. That was my moment of like, this is going to end, and I don't want this to end. What'd you guys think of Funky Bitch All Around? Like, didn't Trey drops his solo? So it's Paige and is it saxophone then Paige? I can't remember right now.
For me, I think the Funky Bitch might be my least favorite part of the show. Not that I dislike it, but I didn't like it as much as the Taste. I feel like his saxophone suited better for the Taste jam than the Funky Bitch.
Yeah.
But it was still great.
Yeah, I think I agree. And I think I even remember at the time. Being like, "Oh no, this show is slipping away from me. It's not. It's not as perfect as it was." But it's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's trying to straddle the Taste that was so atonal and interesting and unique, and then the Amazing Grace, which was like, I don't know that it gets higher than what they can achieve through that. So I think it's hard for Funky Bitch to bridge that gap. So there's a lot of weight on it, and it was fun. I always liked that song. I thought Mike sang really well. Again, like vocals were tight.
Yeah, it was kind of a bookend Mike-led song, like LaGrange open, and then Funky Bitch. Kind of here's a different aspect of that classic rock and roll feel. So that has more of the maybe go more Chicago blues than Texas blues.
Yeah.
So.
But both great. And like Americana, as Matt was saying. And then you can't get more Americana than Amazing Grace. And when they did the a cappella, I figured, you're just standing there sweating and feeling like you just witnessed what you just witnessed, and perfection, and you're running through your head all the different songs and the notes and the feelings you had. And like to do an a cappella number at that point was perfect. And I can't, again, I'm foggy on this, and it's good that I am, but I don't remember the musicians walking out with electric instruments until they were done singing a cappella, but it's possible they were setting up the lap steel and stuff while they were doing the a cappella, and we were just focused on that. I don't know. Has this been done 3 times? Like, it's a very few number of times they've done the Amazing Grace jam after the a
maybe
cappella.
A couple at best,
And this was one of those moments that I remember listening to the tapes and having it not realistically hit for me. And then when they released the Aladdin show, which is coming up, there was a little disc slipped in there in a separate little like
the road
paper
to Vegas.
sleeve, The Road to Vegas. And it had this Amazing Grace and Amazing Grace jam on it. And that opened it all back up for me. I remember the first thing I did when I got the whole Vegas box set was I put that on because I was so excited about it. And that was my moment that I think we started our campaign of Kevin. I don't even know if Kevin worked there then. Kevin, you got to release this show, man. You know how good it is. And you know how good it is because you put this on this disc, and you know that this was a special night because you put the fucking Amazing Grace and Amazing Grace jam out. You got to eventually do the whole thing. And it's pretty... Thank you, Kevin. Like, we're doing this now because of that.
Such a great way to cap a religious experience of a night.
Yeah.
You know, to, again, like Matt's been saying, rooted in Americana. And then that one, like, geez, if this is what church is like, take me to church. that was,
Yeah.
you know, like again, felt like acknowledging the audience. Like we were in this thing together, and we recognize that what kind of experience this is for all of us to be in this same space, anticipating the same notes and experiencing that joy and elation, and then, you know, how Trey plays out the end of Amazing Grace. It does kind of have a little Saturday Night Live.
That's what I thought exactly.
Everybody's like shaking hands and like hugging. So it did have a little bit, but that's great too. So
that's what it should be. Yeah, my I've mentioned it on here, but especially my youngest Sage asked me a lot, Dad, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? And we just watched Moonrise Kingdom yesterday with them. It's pretty special. June's 12 now, and the kids are 12 in that. And I thought it was time for Wes Anderson beyond Fantastic Mr. Fox. And I think they loved it. And Sage said, Dad, is that one of your favorite movies? I was like, I could make a list of a couple hundred movies I call my favorites. And she said, well, she's always pushing me to favorites. And I think Trey in this Amazing Grace jam is like top 10 Trey moments for me in person. I get the cheesy and I get that it was there, but at the end of the show, he plays with this effortlessness around all these musicians that are kind of hitting weird not off, but like it's strange notes, and the way they settle into the groove is very lilting and church-like, as you said, and it sounds like a choir rather than instruments, and he soars above it in a way that is so impressive. You know, the kind of music that he talks about not playing, but the music playing him, and it really felt that way to me in the moment and whenever I listened to it. So, yeah, great capper.
And now a song about roadkill.
Yeah. Widely known amongst all our rabid listeners as one of my least favorite Fish songs.
Possum. So harsh.
Yeah.
I like a good possum, guys. And this one's fun.
Ian loves a good possum.
This one's fun. We got the group, the guests out. Well, John McEwen on banjo and Peter Applebaum on the sax. Does it work? Banjo and sax guesting on possum. Opinions?
An avant-garde sax player and a, I don't know, mid-60s banjo icon. Yeah. I don't know. Does it?
Sounds like the right recipe.
It's fine. I mean, if you want to say this show kind of falls off at the end there, then that's fine. But
yeah, but it's hard to say that because of the Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
If they had not encored and just dropped the mic after the Amazing Grace, wow. I mean, I'm glad they did. It's fine.
Yeah.
I remember being outside. I don't remember. I remember looking at this set list weeks later and going, Possum?
Oh, they played Possum?
I don't remember that at all. I do not remember that at all. So it ended for me at Amazing Grace. I was on I had to pick a lot of my body up off the floor, and I did not. Yeah, I was done. I don't know. Huh. But on re-listen, it's really fun. Yeah. I want to milk everything I can out of the show. So getting the recordings that sound great and re-listening, you're right. It's fun. In the moment, I'm sure it was fine.
Well, in the moment, I think I was like walking on air, and then when they started Possum, I was just like, nah, Possum, and then I'm just like, no, fuck it.
Doesn't matter.
I love you. It was a momentary dip, but
well, at least it wasn't a Susie.
That still would have been fine.
The funk
been so dancing
that they would have laid into, and they're like,
it would have been
again,
fun.
Like, the theme of that night was they could play any song, and we'd walk away satisfied because they were playing with care, they're playing with precision, they're playing with humor. They did all the things that we love about this band, and they just repeatedly did it. So it wasn't just like a spike and a highlight. It was sustained from the first note until the dip. Post encore break.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, just
no. But again, for folks who haven't heard this and are looking at the set list and being like, "Oh, I might check out a couple of those things they said." I think Ryan said it best. There is And it goes to part of the inevitability or the whatever preordainedness of it. The whole thing has a flow that like makes sense, even though it doesn't make sense on paper. I'm looking at it right now. It looks weird. It looks not great. Yeah. But like it really does make sense. And it wasn't just me being there, because I really did take 28-year hiatus and like came back, and the every time I listen to it now, it like just pulls me through. Like you keep just being like, God, that was good. What's the next thing? Oh God, that's really good.
Yeah. Yep.
So do yourself a favor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the last show we covered was 11/7, and I think this show is vastly superior to 11/7. And the next show we're doing is going to be the Aladdin in Vegas, which all of us were at together. That was an incredible show. I don't know if you guys have anything to pre-excite our fans about. Maybe we can dive out of this with that. But if I was, gun to my head choosing the Arco or Vegas, I would choose the Arco. And Vegas was awesome. I had a great time. Really great time. But this was my show.
Well, yeah. Going to what you were saying about like the crowd and the surroundings, making or breaking it. I was hanging out with my brother and his friends at the Vegas show, and I just kind of watching it through their eyes and watching them get bored and like be just kind of like lose interest or whatever, like kind of like really soured my experience on that show, unfortunately. So like I walked away just kind of not anywhere. I mean, I really liked it, but like it sort of was just like, I wish I had ditched them and hung out with you guys.
Hung out with us.
It makes a big difference, and they absolutely makes a huge difference. A big isn't even a big enough word, but I do think they are very different shows, and that Ryan mentioned something about like a huge spike and then a little peak. Vegas is full of them. Like there are little peaks, several of them. I mean, in that show, there are huge peaks and then several little dips. And this one was just all sustained intensity. And I think when you witness something like that, it's a lifelong memory.
Were you on the balcony with us, Ian, at Vegas?
I was with Kevin.
Up on the front of the balcony?
I was sitting with Kevin and Rain. No. So Matt was with Kevin at this show. I was with him at Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I was trying to get it fast enough. I
Quick clapping and suing.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember. I know we were up, like, I don't think front row, but maybe second or third row on the balcony.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. It's going to be really fun reliving Vegas again, too. But I truly listened to that show as much as I've listened to this one, probably. And I don't know. They're both great. They both should be on the list. 11/7, I don't know, is great, but not anywhere close to either of these.
Well, I think we can officially welcome 11:30 to the top 100. I don't know if we can get the approval of the actual companion gentlemen, but reach out to us if you're against it, I'd say.
Well, our plan, Ryan and Matt, I guess maybe Matt more don't know our plan. So we're going to go through the entire 100, and then at the end, we're going to do some episodes of shows that we think should be on the list that did not make it. And this is kind of preempting that long list that we're going to have.
And we've already decided to kick 11/7 96 off. So you're off 11/7.
Yeah. This is just replacing it. Done. Honestly, the Sports Arena set 2 was pretty amazing. And I think there were some real highlights at the Poly Pavilion. We just re-listened to the Tweezer because it had the headphones and it's released as a live bait. Oh, so great.
Matt, were you at the Cow
that was a fun
Palace
day.
show or no?
Were
you at the Cow Palace show before this one?
I was, yeah. And I remember us all really liking it, but like then I need to go back and re-listen to it. But I mean, I think we were all just kind of just like really excited about it. But then this one just sort of
was awesome.
And then this one just was like, fuck every other Fish show that has ever been.
Right.
Yes.
Well, this
in my mind. But after
in my mind,
the Cow Palace, we felt that way
too.
Cow
Palace had its share of the dark, and like that's one thing I love about the band is that they have all these different shades. But the difference with this one is that they managed to keep like all the songs and the playing bright, and even the dissonant playing in Timber was still like somehow it felt like they were taking these minor chords and like making a major, and I don't know how they were doing it, but it felt it felt like just bright and sparkling. I don't know how they were doing it. That's what made it like so unique. In that, yes, the Cow Palace night before, there was some incredible funk. There was also some darkness. I remember the maze like swirling around that room, like echoing all around that.
Well, it's preceded Divided Sky, Bathtub Gin, Life on Mars maze. Like it was, I thought the Cow Palace had the dream set list, and that Simple was great, and the Yum was like,
the Yum. Yes.
I'm a Yum every night kind of guy, and it was so good at that show. But I think
he broke a string.
It was like we were saying, yeah, broke a string. So yeah, that's why it was great. Broke a string. But it was, the sound in that venue was a little bit of a challenge probably for the band and the audience. And I think they were probably feeling a thing. Like it sound like the Seattle show is officially released and is pretty great to listen to. And supposedly the couple nights before were also really great. It's been a while since I've listened to those. And they were just on a heater at this point. And I think maybe the Cow Palace could have been the Arco if it, the sound was as good, maybe. I don't know. But
well, I mean, the other
Arco was where it hit.
Last thing I think I'd say is that, like, one of the reasons this is special and why I think it, like, it kind of sticks out in my mind is that it's not, a lot of this Americana and kind of rootsy stuff is not really my thing, and if this was the band every night, I don't think this is like a template for the band that they should have followed,
Right.
Yeah.
like this stands out both because of its playing, but also just because it's so unique, like, and the fact that I liked it so much when it was sort of like things that, like, are not my favorite songs or my favorite style and not what I like from the band, it, like, really makes me a bigger believer, because I'm just like, if they can sell, Runaway Jim and LaGrange, like, like, that's not what I'm in for, but like everything just was jumping off the stage and so amazing. So yeah, that's my last pitch for folks who are skeptical. I don't know who I'm talking to here, these skeptics, but it's
vast audience.
It's just a unique show, and it really needs to be heard to understand.
Yeah, that's, as we make we sort of help to create our own list of 100 here by listening to these and adding or subtracting. And that's the deep dives we do, is trying to find things we forgot about or relive moments in our listening. It is about curating what is the best of 100. And this book ends at 2015. So has the band done anything since then that deserves to be here?
Probably.
Does the Sphere deserve to be on this? I don't know if musically will it hold up over the course of time. And I hope, many years from now, someone else does this again and tries to relive what those should be. And I think as we curate this list in our own, for our own group of listeners and friends that like the band the way that we do, I think the show should be on there for exactly the same reasons you said. It's an outlier, it's different, it's unique, but I would put just purely the playing skill and performance of a group of 4 people in this show up against any other band ever. I mean, it's kind of why I go on and on about the One from the Vault for the Grateful Dead. Like, they're known for sloppiness, but One from the Vault is tight as shit. And they're not the best versions of those songs ever, a lot of them, but they are just sharp and precise, and the band was fired up, and this has that feel to me. It has that, like...
No, that's a great analogy, yeah.
It's a different
a lot of Dead
band,
actually.
Yeah, I One from the Vault, like, always, every time I put it on, I have the vinyl sitting here next to me.
Again,
like,
it does
amazing.
have that sort of jumps off thing of just like, who is this band? This is not...
Yeah.
This is not...
It's because they just made a record. They hadn't been playing. Yeah. And it's something about being on stage and, like, being fired up. And I think this band coming off, making what I think is one of their best records. I don't think you do, Matt. And I think the summer was, I don't know, what was it, 11, 12 shows? It was super short. The Clifford Ball was musically, for me, slightly disappointing. And they played to 70,000 people, like way bigger than they'd ever done. They hit this fall tour, and the first part of the tour was kind of shaky. And I think once they found their legs and they got their confidence up, this back part was, every night was something special to witness.
Yeah, that was a stellar time.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to be there.
Thanks for
No,
sharing.
like Ryan, I'm kind of a Rift guy, and this has a lot of Rift stuff too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
On the other side of that set list thing, it does deliver that, and none of the new songs.
Round room guys.
Yeah, this list of 100.
None of the new songs like Julius.
Oh yeah,
like Julius. It's Julii. This list is incredibly short on 91, 92. So I think as we get to the end of this, there'll be some of that riff stuff that comes out in shows we love from that era, because there's basically nothing from that stretch on here. And we're about to hit 97, where I think a third of the list is 97. It's 30 shows are just in that year. It's nuts. There's runs where there's 6 shows in a row that are on this list. So it's going to be a real different podcast for a stretch.
Yeah, no, I'm curious what you guys think on re-listen. Because I always sort of think of that as my favorite, but
yeah,
this show notwithstanding,
it'll be interesting.
Yes.
I think the show is going to get pretty controversial in fall 97, but we'll see how it goes.
We like to keep it hot takes.
Well, it was a real pleasure to have you guys on talking. I can't wait to do this again with some other
honor,
show.
Really.
But it was great to hear your take. And Ryan, kudos. You're kind of like the set list doctor. I feel like you were kind of you tapped into that set list in a way that Sam and Matt and I didn't even think to approach it. And I'm going to try and bring that into future shows.
All right.
Yeah. We'll send you guys invites along the way here as we spend the next 2020, the next 7 or 8 years of our life doing this. So we'll.
Well, are there more shows? I don't know the list. Are there more shows that we've all gone to get together?
Well, the next one's
Yes.
Vegas, and then I'm certainly
a bunch of
Ventura
97s
97
and 98s.
is definitely going to be on there.
99s.
Shoreline
Oh,
97.
Ventura.
Yep.
Yeah, Shoreline and Ventura.
Both Venturas are on there, I think. So there's a lot coming. Yeah, you'll get.
I'd
an
love to
invite,
come
don't
back.
you worry. We'd love
Always
to have
welcome.
He's got the bucket.
Yeah, the bucket better not be done by now.
This one's non-alcoholic. I'm striping, as they say.
Okay. Striping?
Where you go alcoholic, non-alcoholic, alcoholic, non-alcoholic.
Wow.
Oh.
That's a West Coast thing. I'm sorry. We're always a year or two behind back here. Well, thank you, listeners, and thank you to Matt and Ryan and to Ian and everybody for being here tonight. And we will see you guys all next time for Las Vegas at the Aladdin.
All right, Sam, play us out with some possum.
Get up off of that thing.
Yes.
Yep. I had the high.
Yes, we am.
Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.